Thunderbolts is the latest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Jake Schreier and starring Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, and a bunch of other awesome people. And honestly, I did not know what to expect walking into this thing, not just from the movie, but just kind of based on the conversation surrounding the MCU right now. I just personally feel like it's gotten a little bit weird. The hype isn't what it used to be, and so going into a new MCU movie, just like I kind of went in with Captain America: Brave New World, you're just hoping that it works. You're hoping that it's good. Because I'm still a believer in the MCU, I still believe where it's heading, and I have confidence in where it's heading, but I really just wanted this movie to work. And my friends, I'm here to tell you it did. Thunderbolts is an absolute banger. But before I get going and talking about it, as always, make sure to leave all your thoughts down in the comments. Leave a like to support this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And let's just dive in. So, Thunderbolts, ensnared in a deadly mission, an unconventional crew, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and US Agent, is forced to confront the darkest corners of their past. And that little tidbit from the synopsis kind of clues you in that this movie might be a little bit emotional, but I really wasn't prepared for just how deep this thing was gonna get. If you're going into this thing thinking that it's just gonna be Marvel's Suicide Squad, it is not Suicide Squad. It's actually quite the opposite. And I got a lot of my thoughts out, my reaction right after I saw this movie. I honestly was buzzing off of this movie. I was so excited right afterwards. I'll kind of reiterate some of the stuff that I said, but like, I truly was floored emotionally by this film. It hit on so many deep notes that I never really thought possible, and I honestly was kind of just awestruck. I was a little bit shell-shocked after walking out because I was like, this movie going in, I was thinking about Yelena, I was thinking about Bucky Barnes, I was thinking about Red Guardian. Like, it didn't seem like the type of film that was gonna blow me away as much as it did. It's not featuring a centerpiece like RDJ, Tony Stark, you know what I mean, or like Steve Rogers. This is Yelena, this is Florence Pugh, and the thing that I guess I didn't consider going in was this is fresh blood. I know we've seen Yelena in a movie, we've seen her in Hawkeye, but now we get to see a layered story centered around her, and we start to kind of build up her arc as a character so that we can start caring about her character and being invested. And that's what this movie did for me. It made me invested again. And I would probably say like 75% of that is because of Florence Pugh. She legit commands every second that she's on screen. She's funny, she's fierce, but she's also broken and like brutally human all at once. There's a scene in the movie where she's just pouring out her emotions and she's conveying this message of like, I don't feel normal and I don't know why. Like, I don't feel right, I don't feel good. And that's the type of message that I think can resonate with a lot of people nowadays. That type of stuff kind of sums up the soul of this film. It's super raw, it's super vulnerable, and I truly think, like, no excuses, she needs to be a centerpiece in the MCU moving forward. She absolutely has to be. I mean, seeing her standing next to maybe Tom Holland's Peter Parker, like carrying the torch and moving this thing forward, it's just beautiful, man. Like, I can't wait. It's given me a lot of hope for Doomsday and moving forward into the future. But anyway, back to this movie. I do typically focus on the characters, and I just want to dive into some of the other characters as well, because Sebastian Stan was freaking phenomenal, and I feel like Sebastian Stan is an interesting one. You know, playing Bucky Barnes, he's somebody that started out, I remember watching Captain America and being like, who is this guy? You know, and then we got into Winter Soldier and you're like, okay, he's the villain, but over time, he has just become a staple within the MCU, and now every time he comes back, his career has blossomed outside of the MCU, so you know how talented of an actor he is. But then seeing him in this, he just adds so much. And he has such a layered past, but they still keep finding ways to kind of redeem him just for the things he's done, and I feel like the audience at this point has already forgiven him for the things that he's done, but still, you keep seeing that inner trauma, and this is the perfect movie to kind of showcase the darkness and kind of like the twisted stuff that's going on within him, you know, the stuff that he kind of has to shove down. And so I absolutely loved him. Some other people that I really loved seeing, Hannah John Kamen, I feel like she just deserved this. Ghost is a character that Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, I don't know, she was kind of the villain in that movie-ish. She really hasn't been like featured in the MCU after that, but this movie, again, kind of like they did with Bucky, they can take this character and they can plug her in and give her maybe a more practical, real-world, grounded look. Like, we get to see what's really going on inside of Ava, you know what I mean? And I found it cool. Like, I found it cool watching Ghost in this movie and being like, dang, I'm connecting to Ghost right now. This is a character that I did not care about before this movie whatsoever, because I felt like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was just kind of lacking. Like, I just wasn't all about that villain, that character at all. But then, and I feel like I'm going to say this for every single actor I get to, but it's very true, they all give really great performances. Wyatt Russell, man. Wyatt freaking Russell. He steals every single scene that he's in. He's another actor a lot like Sebastian Stan, where his career has blossomed outside of the MCU now. I remember seeing him in Falcon and Winter Soldier and being like, who is this guy? I don't like this other knockoff Captain America. This just feels weird. But John Walker's character, there's a lot to resonate with. There's a lot going on inside of him. There's a lot of stuff that you don't know as the viewer that you find out about him in this film. And he's so freaking authentic, but he's also really funny. And it's like a stoic humor, you know what I mean? A guy that is just so military, such an everyman that he's just like rolling his eyes constantly because he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And he leans on the other actors so much, and they all work so well in conjunction with each other, like David Harbour, man, the Red Guardian. I feel like for me, he's the character that pops up in the trailer that you're like, well, I love David Harbour. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He's freaking Hopper in Stranger Things. This guy rules. But do we really have to watch him do the Russian accent thing again for a little while? It doesn't sound that great, but it's amazing. It is great. It was so great. And you kind of forget the relationship that's going to be there between him and Yelena and what's going to be taking place working off of each other. You have this father-daughter relationship, and it's a damn beautiful thing, man. There's some moments, I'd probably say the most emotional moment in this movie, well, maybe one or two, but one of the most emotional moments in this movie was a scene between him and Yelena. I mean, it's just, there's some really deep stuff going on there. But speaking of emotional, you have Lewis Pullman, and he's playing Sentry in this, or Bob in this movie. And this is where a lot of the emotion comes from, man. And this guy, I don't know if he's been on people's radar before this film. He's Bill Pullman's son. He's kind of been within the industry for a little while now, but gosh, he knocked this role out of the park. This has been in the trailer. It's already been talked about, so I don't consider this a spoiler, but the Void as a character. You have Sentry and you have the Void. This is a comic book character, and this is something, a kind of a counterpart that goes hand in hand with Sentry. And gosh, the Void stuff was spectacular. The effects that they used for the Void stuff is spectacular. And you see it a little bit in the trailers, but the way that everything irons out in this final action set piece, it felt like old school MCU. You have Valentina, who has properly been set up now, and so it felt right seeing her in this role and seeing her kind of like step into this more powerful role within the MCU, and then seeing her working in conjunction with the team and with the other actors and with Sentry. It all felt really big, and by the end it all felt really earned, but it gets really freaking dark, man. It gets really, really dark, and the action set piece that you would normally expect out of a movie like this, it kind of gets flipped on its head, and you go places that you didn't think that you were going to go, and you have to go there with these characters that at this point you care about, and you have to face these fears, you have to face this trauma with them. It's just, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful way to walk through this story and tell this story and kind of get through the entire third act. I'll also say there was a beautiful score in this film, one of the better MCU scores that I've heard. It was done by Son Lux, and that's a band apparently, and they composed it. I don't know. It's stunning. It's haunting. I feel like there are notes of like, where is my mind? I feel like that little theme is echoing throughout the entire film. It's really wild, but I thought the score was fantastic, and it brings everything together as a score always does. But I think everything coming together, all of those pieces that I'm talking about, that's what makes the movie so special, because it centers around mental health. And when you have all of those elements coming together, it does create a very powerful and emotional experience for those that are willing to kind of like open themselves up to it. You know, this could at face value be just a fun superhero movie for you, but if you dig a little bit deeper into the context of what they're talking about, it has a very deep message, man. A lot of the talk, as well as like the alluding to trauma, as well as grief and depression, those things that a lot of us go through and we all have to bury, we all have to like wear our masks out in the real world, but eventually it does kind of boil to the surface. The way that they handled it within an MCU movie, such a massive platform, it was done with care, and it was done with honesty and weight, and it never feels preachy or half-baked. Like the themes that we're talking about here, they're central to the story. They're not an afterthought. It's not like, oh, did you feel any hints of trauma in there? It's like, no, you saw the trauma, you were with the trauma, and you had to carry that baggage through the film until you kind of get through some stuff. So I don't know, I might be repeating myself. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful, and the movie's not all doom and gloom, so I don't want you to think that if you haven't seen it yet. The humor freaking works. This is like a Winter Soldier action film, but with the comedy of like a Guardians of the Galaxy film. It's sharp, it's character-based, there's a lot of dialogue, and they let the dialogue breathe in a lot of points. It never undercuts cuts the emotion. There are genuine laughs, mostly from Red Guardian, Yelena, and Walker, but they come from real places, and it never feels like a joke factory. So good shit, man. And I will say, post-credit scenes. Now, this is something I do want to highlight. I'm going to be making a spoiler Thunderbolts review, and I'm going to dive into these post-credit scenes, but stick around for the post-credit scene. I don't have to tell you if you've seen Marvel movies. You know the deal. You know what you're supposed to do, but post-credit scenes have gotten very lackluster in the past, like, 5 years. You get to a post-credit scene, you're excited for it, and then it doesn't have the payoff that it used to. It doesn't have the Thor's hammer moment that we got back in the day where you're like, oh my gosh, and then all of a sudden they drop a trailer for Thor and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna have Thor. This film, the final post-credit scene in it, it actually sets something up that is going to be paid off, that we are heading towards. It's a beautiful freaking thing, and it got me so insanely hyped to see what I saw. That's one of those things that you expect from an MCU film. You expect to walk out and be like, let's go, dude. I cannot wait till the next thing that comes out. I cannot wait till these Avengers movies. I cannot wait to move forward into the future, you know what I mean? And so that's what I got out of it. Truly, at the end of the day, I just felt like Thunderbolts isn't just a great MCU film. It's a powerful character study wrapped in action, emotion, and style. I feel like it's a story about broken people trying to heal, trying to fight, and trying to feel themselves or feel like themselves again. And in my book, that makes it something special. As always, I do want to give my Jones Vibe star rating. I am giving Thunderbolts 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I got no doubt about that. Don't speak. But if you've seen Thunderbolts, leave me all your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think. Also, if you haven't seen the movie, do you plan on going and seeing it? What are you thinking now? Are you getting hyped up to see it? Are you not hyped? Feel free to leave your opinion down below. I love hearing and reading everything you put down there. Also, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, but more than anything, my friends, make sure to keep up the good vibes. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!